you know, that aspect of building relationships is really important. And it really just extends what we already know about working with any person, is that you need to build rapport. It might just take a little bit longer, as I said, to build that relationship and to build that trust. And you often need to go in very gently and quietly. I try and be pretty humble in the way that I approach clients if I'm meeting them for the first time. So I'm friendly and I'm warm, but I'm also pretty humble, so that I'm letting people know that I'm there to learn. And often students, you know, I always say to my students, you know, you're in the box seat here because you know that you don't know. So, you know, you're not going to turn up and try and, you know, be somebody who knows everything. You're there to learn, and I think that really helps. And often our clients find that they really love having students around because the students take the time to learn from them, and they want to be taught by them, and they want to learn. And I think our clients respond really well to that because they're really keen to take that role as well. And I think it needs to be genuinely reciprocal. So it's not just about us as the therapist or us as the student, you know, asking questions of the client. It's also about giving some information about ourselves. So, you know, one of our students gave me some feedback and said, you know, I've never talked about football so much in my life, because all his clients, you know, would come in the door and have their footy jerseys on, and it was a way of connecting that, you know, he really liked football, his clients liked football, and they could talk about football. Now, not everyone's into football, so, you know, there might be that there are other ways of connecting. I often, because I work with children and families, I'll often talk about my own kids, you know, so, you know, my son did this today, or, you know, my son really likes Skylanders, your son likes Skylanders, you know, just those really simple things. And they might seem like such little things, but they're great ways of connecting and putting somebody at ease to let them know you're there to help. You know, given our history of removals of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander from families, when you work with parents, it's such an important thing that we give them a way of connecting with us, and we affirm them as parents. We let people know, we go out of our way to be extra warm and friendly, and to let them know that we're there to help. You know, we're not judging, we're there to provide some support to them, so they, you know, we're coming from an assumption that they want the best for their kids, like any parent. And so it's really important that we portray that information in the way that we approach people, that we're gentle, that we're humble, that we share something about ourselves, because that helps break down that sort of power imbalance that sometimes happens when you're working, you know, even as a student with a client. And I think that's a really important aspect of building that relationship as well. I think the other thing about building a relationship that actually helps us be culturally safe is that it helps us overcome cultural faux pas that we might make. You know, often students come into a placement in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health and they're a bit anxious because they don't want to do the wrong thing, and they don't want to say the wrong thing, and they're not sure if there's rules they should be following. Do I make eye contact or don't I? And often those protocols will be different depending on where you are. So it's hard to know, in fact impossible to know everything that you need to know. But if you take that approach of building a relationship with somebody, then if you do make a mistake, people will let you know. And that's not always a comfortable feeling. But I think I look at it as a positive. I think if people pull me up for something, you know, and I've been working in this space for a really long time, but I still make mistakes. If people pull you up for something, I sort of take it as a positive that they've taken the time to let me know. They haven't just walked off and gone, oh, she's a bit stupid. You know, they've taken the time to let you know. And I think being humble in that situation and being able to be learning, you know, being a learner, not a teller, is really important, that you've got that sort of teachable aspect to what you're doing, and you'll learn a lot as you go along because of that. But you'll also get forgiven for those little mistakes that you make along the way as well. And I think that's, you know, that's a really great way to approach things.
I think the most important thing is to really take the time to build rapport. I know it's important in every setting, but in this one, it's even more, I feel like it's even more important. And so it may seem like you're wasting time building that rapport, but it'll actually benefit you in the long run, because you'll actually be able, if they trust you, you'll be able to help them. So it's really important.